Christine and Nigel win the show. Now, to be fair, they haven't had one fight, but they've only been together for like 6 minutes. Of course they haven't had a fight. Now, yes, all of this is for a week-long vacation, so at the end of the day, who gives a
I'm starting to feel like I might have made a mistake. All day I've been thinking about Micah and how he was. I miss her.
You know, he's talking to the camera. He's like, I just realized I missed her. It's like, I don't know what to say. It was just really hard for me. It's like, no, you know you're getting replaced and you're being a worm. All right, Perfect Match is over. We just had the final episode of season 2 from the jump. What an upset. What an insane thing to do, to choose a couple that was only formed in like the last 30 minutes of the season as the perfect match. It really speaks to the testament of how strong these couples really are. This is absolutely outrageous. I just want to get that off my chest from the jump, but I will get more in depth into that later. So the episode opens up with more Harry and Jess content. I've said it in the other videos, but I'll say it for those of you who are new. Jess and Harry are the perfect epitome of toxic boy mum that needs someone to look after, and just awful like man-child baby that like relies on his partner to basically be his mum. That is the dynamic here. The way she communicates to him is genuinely like she's talking to a toddler. And Harry, on the other hand, is this perplexing amalgamation of toxic fuckboy, man-child, and like weaponized incompetence in his emotional intelligence. They basically have a discussion about the logistics of his cheating with Melinda. My favorite line from this section is when Jess confronts Harry and says, "What are you doing telling some woman that like I'd put a baby in you?" And he goes, "Nah, like it's not even like that." It's like, bro, what else could you mean?
I did look at her stomach and I said it would look good if you were pregnant, but it was not in that sense.
What are you talking about? There is no good reading of saying to another chick, "I would put a baby in you." Nothing. And then he has the audacity to like gaslight and be like, "Oh, well, actually, like I say it a lot in my podcast, so maybe she's just saying I said that because she knows it's something I said." Like, absolutely insane.
The only reason I'm doubting what you're saying is because of the "I would put a baby in you" comment. And you said I would put a baby in you.
Absolutely not. I say it on every podcast.
Anyways, thankfully, Jess decides not to match with Harry. She breaks up with him then and there. Such a great moment. I love the awkward hug that Harry initiates when saying goodbye, that Jess is like, yep, okay, hurry up, let's get this over with.
I do not want to match with you tonight.
I also love the moment when Harry's trying to like plead with Jess. He's like, "Babe, please, like, I love you loads." Like, he can't even say it directly to her. The moment he says, "I love you loads," he has to like look down at his toes because he can't even look her in the eyes and say it seriously. Another great moment is Micah and Izzy. Now, Micah and Izzy are really only together out of convenience so they can stay in the show. Micah is still heartbroken about how Kaz basically leapfrogged with someone else. I love the moment when the show is cutting to all the happy couples being like, "Ooh, they're about to get frisky." And then it cuts to Micah and Izzy just has to sit in the cuck chair and listen to Micah basically complain about how Kaz treated her. So funny. And honestly, like, Izzy deserves that for putting himself in that situation. I know he's going in there more as like a friend match, but it's just so funny to see him just sitting there like, yeah, your ex sounds terrible. Yeah, I'm so sorry, baby. Yeah. Please tell me more about the guy you're definitely not still in love with. And then another great moment, it hard cuts from that to Kaz basically getting frisky with Christine. So it's just so funny, the contrast between Micah and Izzy, and then Christine and Kaz just getting it on. Next, we don't actually have that much Nick Lachey cringe. He's kind of okay this episode. Nick Lachey is just kind of funny because he has like negative riz. He has like no aura, right? Like, his high-pitched like what's ups are always hilarious, but aside from that, we really don't get that much.
Bring it in. Okay.
We do get one great moment of Nick Lachey cringe, and I'm so glad the season gave us one final gift of Nick Lachey cringe. Basically, it's a challenge where the couples are getting asked like steamy questions, and the partner has to guess the answer for their partner, right? And so one of the questions is, how often does your partner want to have sex? And a few of them end up saying a few times a day. And then we get a moment of Nick Lachey clearly being intimidated and uncomfortable and not being able to sit in it. So it goes, "Oh God, like multiple times a day, that's a pipe dream for me. You know, I have like 3 kids and a job, like..."
Oh. Yes, multiple times a day. Whoa! All right. Hey, I'm married with 3 kids, so that's a pipe dream for me.
Oh, brother.
Honestly, I can't even drag Nick Lachey too much here. This is just like sad. This is sad. Like, Nick Lachey is in such a dead bedroom with Vanessa. He basically has to resort to being the funny man and making jokes about amongst people that are clapping cheeks like every couple hours. Also, another notable moment from this challenge is we find out Izzy, the weird lizard looking guy, has over 100 bodies. Like, are you kidding? Which girls are saying yes to this? Like, honestly, like, what is going on? Next, we need to talk about Kaz. I am sorry. I got a few comments on my last video pushing back against me, being like, "You were too harsh on Kaz. Kaz isn't that bad. Kaz is just playing the game." Guys, Kaz is an absolute menace. I do not want to hear this. Kaz was not good in the previous couple episodes, and he's an absolute monster this episode. I don't know what you guys are watching. I don't know what version of events you saw, but Kaz is a menace. I do not have an issue with Kaz pairing off with other people. My issues with Kaz were the fact that he constantly complained that people were like questioning his loyalty to Micah, and then proceeded at every turn he got to explore other opportunities with other people, and then would weaponize jealousy and get mad over things that he was doing. That was my issue with Kaz. It wasn't the fact that he broke off a relationship and start a new one. If that was all above board, that would have been fine, but it wasn't. Kaz was snaky and manipulative. He yelled at Micah, which really didn't sit well with me, and he showed double standards at pretty much every turn. My thing with Kaz is he's allowed to find connections with new people. He's allowed to pair off with new people. I think he just needs to be transparent with everyone involved, and at every turn, he is snaky and manipulative and puts it on the other person. He can't just go up to Micah and be like, hey, I've paired off with someone else. You should find someone too. I know it was a bit shitty of me, but the heart wants what the heart wants. Instead, what Kaz likes to do is he likes to pick a fight and find something that they've done so he can justify doing something that otherwise he would have conflicting feelings about and feel bad about. For example, he obviously wanted to leave Micah for Christine, but instead of just doing that and being transparent, he makes it a whole thing of like, you were flirting with that guy, so I'm going to go with Christine. You're done and you keep turning things on me. I think he's an absolute snake. So basically at this point, Kaz and Christine are having a hypothetical discussion about what would happen if we both went on individual dates outside of each other. And you can tell that what Christine was hoping for was that Kaz would be like, hey, let's make sure we stay loyal to each other and not pair off with anyone else. But Kaz goes down this weird hypothetical route. Kaz starts trying to proactively justify hypothetical cheating. He goes, well, you know, if I go on a date and I do get with someone, I think that would be okay because you kissed someone in that game in front of me the other day.
And you?
How'd that make you feel?
How'd you feel if I went on a date?
I feel like it's too early to say jealous, but I just don't like seeing people with someone I'm getting on with. Like, it just doesn't sit right with me.
I know about jealousy with that one, because what happened on the games night, I was walking towards the table, and as I was walking towards the table, I see you lipsing up Nigel. So I was like, oh, okay.
You weren't part of the game.
So if I go and kiss someone on the date, how is that going to make you feel? You kiss someone, I kiss someone.
That is such an insane comparison, and you can tell he like genuinely believes that. Like, he thought that was a good point. It's like, dude, this is like a terrible argument. Drop it. On top of that, Christine wins. Like, the way she holds herself at the end and she's like, well, that's how I feel, whatever. And you can see it's like eating Kaz alive because he didn't get the reaction he wanted. It's like, why didn't you just give her the reassurance that you're not going to cheat instead of trying to justify cheating you haven't yet done? Like, it's so strange.
I mean, I just feel like it's still disrespectful.
And that's fine.
I have a bunch of issues with what Kaz is doing here. First off, it is clear self-sabotage. Secondly, they weren't even paired off in an official capacity, and the game was literally centered around the loser has to kiss someone, something Kaz knows because he used this as a justification against Micah. And also, it's just not the same at all. Like, he can't give Christine shit when he was also playing a game where you have to kiss the loser. On top of that, yes, I would not like my partners to play those sort of games, but they were both playing it. It's just such a weird thing that when your partner is going like, hey, can I have some reassurance that you won't get with someone on the date? Instead, he goes like, well, I mean, if I did, I think that would be okay given what you did before we were in a relationship. So strange. But then from here, I think Kaz gets some post self-sabotage like clarity, right? Like, I think he's sitting there like, fuck, I fucked up. She's now going on a date with Nigel, a super hot guy, and I've just been really insecure, really needy, really manipulative. What the fuck am I going to do? So this guy, all right, this guy who's already snaked a bunch of people in the previous episodes goes, I'm going to go back and emotionally manipulate Micah into being in a relationship with me. I think that's my go here. So the dude, while Christine is on a date with Nigel, which by the way, thankfully is going incredibly well, he like runs over to Micah. He's like, Micah, you've always been the one. Like, it hasn't been the same without you, baby. Like, I miss you so much. You're my perfect match. If you're not here, I'm going to leave. And it's like, bitch, yeah, you'll be evicted if you don't pair off with her. Like, what do you mean? You're talking about that like it's a choice. Like, it's a bold choice of you to do. Like, oh, if it's not you, babe, like, I'll remove myself. It's like, no, like, Christine's about to drop you. You are about to be fucked. And this is a move of desperation.
I'm starting to feel like I might have made a mistake. All day I've been thinking about Micah and how he was. I miss her.
You know, he's talking to the camera. He's like, I just realized I missed her. It's like, I don't know what to say. It was just really hard for me. It's like, no, you know you're getting replaced and you're being a worm.
If it's not you and you're like, no, I'll walk out the door and I'm just
That's it.
In this apology to Micah, he's like, I'm sorry for how I spoke to you. You know, I got frustrated because of like how much I care about you, which is the classic like abuse defense. I could not believe Kaz was busting that out without like any sense of irony. Also, Tolu and Chris go on a date. She has a discussion with Chris about his notably high body count, and she navigates this in a really like effective way. She somehow conveys why it doesn't sit well with her without shaming him too much or make him feel like shit. Really well handled. And I actually think this is one of the few times Chris comes off really well too. So now we're in reunion territory. We're in the final decider, right? So first off, notably, finally, Nick is in like a banging outfit. His shirts have been all over the place this season. He's in like a great suit. He looked great. I literally turned to my partner and was like, oh, finally, Nick looks great. Hard cut, he's in suit shorts. What the fuck are you doing, Nick? Also, notably, there's a moment where Kaz is cheering for Christine when she walks in with Nigel, like absolutely hilarious. Like, yeah, you're really excited to see that. Are you, Kaz? Are you? Are you? One of the notable highlights of this episode is Christine absolutely demolishes Kaz, all right? She just starts going like, you jump from me to Micah, clearly because you thought you messed up with me and blah, blah, blah. She calls out Kaz for all his manipulation.
I think you're the biggest scammer sitting here today. Convince yourself that you're this genuine person. The moment I go on a date because you feel threatened by Nigel, that's when you want to go and apologize to her because you know she's feeling you and she'll take you back. You really do disgust me, and honestly, Micah does deserve better. And if there's anybody that you would make a perfect match with, better than anybody else, it'd be the devil himself.
And I just love the poker face he's trying to have here, pretending he's not hurt by it. Because we've seen throughout this season, Kaz really has a tough time with what people actually think about him and his reputation being tarnished. So this is just a great moment of karmic justice, in my opinion.
Everyone's saying they opened up to their experience in here, getting to know everyone, making their connections with the people that they made their connections with. And then yet I'm the only one that gets called like a nasty person and disgusting and wants to date the devil. Like, that don't make no sense.
Also, Nicholas Shea reveals that Elise's ex, Justin, isn't here. Reading up on this in some Where Are They Now articles, I actually found out this is because he was too heartbroken about what Elise did to him. Good on him, honestly. Elise fucked him over so unbelievably hard. So I actually admire him not coming to the reunion, even if he could get some more clout. So all the old contestants are back, right? Meaning Dominique is back. So basically, Dominique calls out Chris, right, for basically like leading her on and how much he hurt her. And his reaction is basically just like, okay.
Here it comes. I have something to say about your man, though. My issue was the deception and the lying. It was one of the biggest reasons why you sent me home that night, and I wasn't able to meet anybody else in the house.
Okay. Next, we get some great Harry stuff. He gets absolutely roasted by the group. Hilarious. Also, on top of that, he offers an apology to Jess. He mentions that he's been reading therapy books, which we all knew, right? We all knew that this guy has been learning therapy speak. And basically just has a bunch of apologies that don't mean shit, given what we find out in about 5 minutes. We get more of Kaz being an absolute menace. Kaz is pissed that Christine is paired off with Nigel, and he literally has the goal to be like, yeah, you know, it's just really funny because I thought Christine wanted an alpha, and like, Nigel's clearly acting like an alpha, but he isn't a real alpha like me. And it's like, dude, are you serious? Like, this is absolutely unhinged behavior.
Christine said to me that she wanted an alpha. Obviously, she's kind of just gone with the opposite.
Oh.
Wait, what? Hold on, wait a minute.
Hold on, wait. I just clocked it.
Just don't confuse like my kindness and humbleness for not being an alpha. I get whatever I want.
Period. Speak your truth.
Like, okay, Kaz, the guy that's in better shape than you, has more emotional composure than you, and is paired off with the girl that you wanted to be with, is like not an alpha compared to you. Sure. Like, oh yeah, Kaz, it was so alpha when you got pissed off that she kissed someone in a game before you guys were officially dating. That's awesome. And on top of that, I love that he's told Michael, like, you're my dream girl, baby. And then he's getting clearly pissed and jealous about Nigel and Christine in front of her. Like, she has to sit there next to him and watch him do that. Insane. Now, if you remember in my last video, I found it curious that they didn't actually show any footage of Harry kissing Melinda. And the only thing we really got was that Holly called it out and went, oh my God, I think Harry kissed Melinda, which I did think was the smoking gun in that whole he said, she said cheating scandal. However, there was a tiny part of me that thought maybe there's part of Harry that was telling the truth and it was just a little thing overblown. But oh my God, thankfully the producers did what I was hoping for, which is they did have the footage and they were holding off showing us until the end. So we get a montage, right, of basically Harry saying, yeah, like it was a little thing and I'm a changed man and I'm really trying to be better. Then they drop a montage of him and Melinda. You know, this includes emotional cheating. This includes flirting. This includes him saying, I want to put a baby in you. our babies would be hot. I want to fuck you. Like, it really goes there. And then they do kiss. And then he says, oh, maybe we can do some more. So maybe something more happened as well. So on top of that, not only did they kiss, but on top of that, Harry's running around to people being like, oh yeah, there's things I did that I can't tell you on TV. So maybe he did something worse. But one of the most interesting moments from this montage is Harry running up to all the camera people, all the producers, and being like, you guys didn't get any footage of me and Melinda, did you? Like, you're not going to show that. Can you cut that out? Like, please delete it. Really fascinating, and shows how snaky and manipulative and downright evil Harry is. Like,
Did you guys get footage of me and Melinda kissing or not? I didn't mean to do it.
Like, Harry isn't this dumb fuckboy that just needs to learn to grow up. He is snaky and manipulative and a flat out liar. And on top of that, in the credits, it's actually revealed that after the show was done, Jess and Harry got back together. He was talking to her about getting engaged to her. Now, they did break up, but notably, I think it's interesting because in the show, right, when they play the montage, that is just for us, the audience. I don't think they showed the entire group that montage. Otherwise, they would have been crying and tears and fights and hysterics. So I'm really curious to know, do you think Jess knew the full truth when Harry and her got back together? Or if they were still together when this show dropped, would that have been an absolute bombshell that Harry tried to cover up being dropped? So finally, all the couples, all the contestants need to vote. We find out that the winning couple won by 1 vote, meaning Xanthi was basically the deciding factor here. And I just cannot get over Xanthi's morals. I really propped up Xanthi in my last video about Perfect Match. I really admired her emotional maturity. I can't believe how much issue she takes with Stefan and Alara specifically, but then throughout the night, she props up really toxic couples. Really strange. But yeah, the big upset, right? Christine and Nigel win the show. Now, to be fair, they haven't had one fight, but they've only been together for like 6 minutes. Of course they haven't had a fight. Like, all they've done is gone on one date and they win the perfect match. Now, yes, to add some validity, do they have unbelievable chemistry? Yes. Do they make a very attractive couple? Absolutely. Do they have potential to be an amazing couple? Yeah, like, absolutely, sure, fine. However, Stefan and Alara have lasted the entire show. There is no better example of what Perfect Match can be than Stefan and Alara, and Perfect Match decided not to vote in Stefan and Alara. Now, I do give credit to the show for actually going with what the other contestants vote, because if the show really cared about its reputation, they would have rigged it and made sure the most narratively satisfying couple won. So I appreciate that they left the upset in, but like, what the fuck was this group thinking? Now, I get that like Stefan and Alara had more time to polarize people, had more time to upset certain people, so as a result, there was like less likability, but I just can't believe that a couple that literally paired off in the same episode wins the entire fucking thing. Now, yes, all of this is for a week-long vacation, so at the end of the day, who gives a f***? Like, this is one of the most lame prizes in a game show ever, but this season was so satisfying in terms of drama and scandal that I actually got invested, and I actually felt ripped off when Stefan and Alara didn't win. But then I was sitting there like, you know what? They're the true winners. Like Stefan said, right? Like when he said like, oh, I'm the real winner here because I'm in a great relationship. But then I Google which couples from Perfect Match are still together. None of them are. None of them are. What a monumental waste of time. But I kind of love this show. I'm excited for Love is Blind. I will include some Lashusi content for my like 3 Lashusi fans after this video ends. But if you want to see the continuation of the Lashusi arc, hit subscribe because I'll be adding Lashusi content into my Too Hot to Handle coverage. Regardless, if you enjoyed this video, please let me know what you'd like me to talk about next. Please hit subscribe. Please let me know what you thought of this episode. Thank you so much for watching and have a lovely day.
Right, so here Lashusi was inviting someone to match with her and spend the night with her, and we got to pick out the kind of sensual outfit.
No.
No, the red is obviously the best option.
Sorry, can she change her hair in an instant?
Yeah, she can. Gorgeous.
Dude, Dolly, you could have dressed better for our night together. It's awful. Fucking hell. Look how hard Lashusi went with her outfit compared to what the other one's wearing.
See, Natasha's pulling out the stops. We should have picked Natasha. What are we doing?
Even though Dali is dressed like a fucking grandma with incontinence issues.
That is such a good... That is perfect. Sweet dreams, Lashusi.
I like how they're just talking in this attire. Like Lashusi's just having this...
Yeah.
Conversation in a sex outfit.
See, Natasha's pulling out the stops. We should have picked Natasha. What are we doing?
Did they have sex?
Let's assume. Should we say right, great, pretty good?
We'll go great then. Yeah.
Oh, that's boring.
What the fuck? bottom line, cause drama.
Yeah.
Ask Dahlia for me with Natasha.
Kick Natasha out, help Dahlia. Oh, that's so savage.
Yeah, especially after they spent all night. Dahlia looks shattered. Dahlia's like, what the fuck?
Dahlia looks like this all the time.
Dahlia's like, what the fuck? I let you play with my
My melons.
Dahlia's like, what the fuck? I let you play with my labia minora.